How's everyone tonight?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. We're gonna get Lisa in here and then we'll get started. So let me just see if I can help her get into this meeting real quick. Oh, I see her. She's being admitted right now.
Oh, good.
Hey, Rachel, I hear some feedback too. I'm wondering if everybody can go on mute once you start talking. I'm hearing some like windy noise in the background.
Sure. Yeah, I'll put everyone on mute. Lisa, are you in?
Just now, yep.
Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna put everyone on mute and then I will get us going on this. All right. Everyone can still hear me? Perfect. Okay. Let me close out this window. All right. So I will go through the squad schedule first, and then we'll move on to the high school schedule. So let's start. Actually, before we do anything, let's open in prayer. So if you want to bow your heads, close your eyes, I'm going to just give us a quick prayer. Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for the wonderful parents and kids you've put into this church for me to work with. And thank you for the opportunity to carry us forward, for me to carry us forward and you to carry us forward in this ministry for the next few months. And I ask that you bless our time together. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen. All right, let's get going. All right, Squad 57, share. All right, so we're gonna keep our grade breakdown. So if you see that squad is still 5th through 7th, high school is still 8th through 12th. So nothing's changed there. Here you'll see that we're doing a fall kickoff event on September 13th. So some changes won't be in place until after the kickoff. So we haven't determined a whole lot about this yet, but we'll know it'll be like a drive-through situation like the donuts or the barbecue was. You'll get like a basket of treats, some information about the ministry and our plans, and then we'll do like a movie watch party together online afterwards. Starting September 13th, we're gonna switch up the time, and for Sunday school, I know that was something people really wanted, was that we weren't meeting in the afternoons, and so at 10 a.m. will be 10 to 10:30 will be squad. So it'll just be a half hour, because I think an hour has just been too long really for the kids to be on there. It's just been too much. So we're gonna do half an hour, and then we're gonna take a break with these Wednesday nights, starting in August, and then we'll pick them back up again on the 13th here once fall kickoff hits. All right, we'll continue to do this. So that was all our virtual. That's our virtual plan. Once we skip over into in-person, we'll have our usual Sunday morning Sunday school in our usual places. That'll be Christopher. I don't know if you know, but I think there has been talk about switching the 9:30 service to 9. So I'm not sure if that will be at 9 or 9:30 quite yet. But if I should say, it'll still be around the same time. And then if you'll notice, squad will be meeting in the second week, pretty much of every month. And so on the first one, we're going to be doing a Sunday night games, dinner, devotional. It'll be a game night. 5 to 6:30 is going to be most of our events. So we cut it down to an hour and a half, especially since on those Sunday nights, we want to be able to allow for school work and getting home for the next day for school. So, and that one will be on campus. And you guys asked for more service opportunities, which I absolutely loved, and that was something I was really looking into anyway. And so in the next month, in the second week, we're going to be doing a Feed My Starving Children with the squad, and that'll likely be on Saturday because they don't really do a lot of Sunday opportunities. And if they do, the time frame is not doesn't necessarily work for us, so we'll probably do a Saturday. In this third month, we'll be doing a lock-in, so that'll be a Friday to Saturday morning. And mostly it'll be on campus. We might take some time to go off campus. And again, there'll be food, games, and maybe sleep because it's a lock-in. You know how that goes. So, and then in our fourth month, again, the second week on the Sunday, we'll do an on-campus volunteer project. Again, that'll be 5 to 6:30. And then the last one will be on a Friday, 4 to 7. It'll be a night out with the stars where we'll do outdoor movie watching, dinner, and a devotional as well. So if you notice, there's not an actual time associated with these because we're going to be picking up in-person meetings with the kids not until 2 weeks into phase 3. And the reason for that is we just feel like it's a more vulnerable age group since they're children, and we want to really make sure that we're taking a lot of precautions before we meet in person. So this will be the plan, picking up once in-person meetings start. And so phase 1 occurs after, 2 weeks of decline or a steady amount of cases, and then phase 3 is like 2 more weeks of that, phase 2 is another 2 weeks, and then phase 3 would be another 2 weeks of declining cases. So yeah. Do I have any questions on this before I move forward? Let me put you guys on unmute. Here, let me stop sharing this. Okay, and let me put you guys.
Rachel, I can't hear you.
Mhm.
You muted your phone.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So any questions before we move on then?
Hey, Rachel. Hey, Rachel, just one question for me. So during the month of August, we won't do the Wednesday nights, but that'll kick back up in September. Did I hear that right?
Correct, on September
Okay.
13th.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
Rachel, will you post this somewhere, or will you send it to participants just so we have I mean, I don't know if it's completely done and we're all aware that everything's flexible. But is there a spot on the website where we can look for things like this to be posted?
I can absolutely talk to Steve, our communications people who are in charge of that. So I'll look into that. Additionally, it'll be in the email, and it'll be in some written material too. So I'm looking into building some written invitations and getting them out to you guys, either via mail or delivery, like hand delivery for myself. So I'll make sure I try and make sure to communicate it in more than one capacity.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. Let's move on to the high school one. Here's the youth. All right. So again, we have September 13th for our fall kickoff, and it's the same fall kickoff for children, squad, and youth. So we're all collectively doing that together. So if you talk with Kristen, we did that all. Like, oh, I have someone someone asked me a question. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure to do that. Sorry, let me put you guys on mute one more time. All right, sorry about that. Let's go back to sharing my screen. All right. Okay, so that's fall kickoff. The virtual plan, again, is 10:30 to 11, so just that half hour, again, for the high schoolers. And again, they're also invited to that Wednesday family night, but again, that'll pause until we pick up again for fall kickoff on the 13th of September. And then here we are again for in-person meetings. We're going to meet twice a month, so it'll be the first and the third weeks of every month. And there's sort of a pattern to it. So you'll notice, like, we're going to start off with a really big event, hopefully build a lot of momentum towards this. George Heredia has hooked us up with a game truck, assuming all that works out, so that'll be great. That'll be mostly on campus. And then again, we have games, dinner, devotional time. And I'm looking for opportunities for us to meet in people's homes, not every month, or maybe every month actually, but not every single time at least. We just find that it's more invitational to bring in new people. Sometimes it's less intimidating for kids to say, come to my friend's house, and it's to say, come to church with me. And so we're trying to look for different entry points for kids to come in. Month 2, service opportunity. That will probably be on a Saturday. And then that third week will be another, be another host at someone's house. And then here we'll have another thing first week on campus. You notice again, these are also 5 to 6:30, shortened down to an hour and a half. That'll also be on campus. And then the third week will be another host in someone's home. Fourth month, first week, Feed My Starving Children, and then another host at someone's home. And then the fifth month will be, I'm really excited for this one. This first week, it's a messy night where you just basically just expect your kids are gonna need a shower when they get home. Maybe put some towels in your car before you pick them up or something, because you probably don't want hair all over your car anyway. So, and then this last one again will be probably host at someone's home. So obviously we're not going to be doing messy games in people's houses, because that won't be good. So, all right, so I'll stop sharing this and put you guys. I think you can just unmute yourself. So if you have questions, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask away. Again, these will be, the schedule will be in the email. Once we have an idea of when we're meeting in person, I will assign dates to these. So it'll be a lot clearer about when things are happening. Yeah. I can't hear you, Lauren. Let me unmute you real quick.
So what have you guys, it's kind of an impossible question, but it's more of an open-ended question as opposed to specifics.
Okay.
What have you guys heard about when kids do come back for Sunday school? It's probably too early, but what's the safety protocol conversation looking like right about now?
Good question. So we have a comprehensive plan that we're having. Actually, Christopher, do you want to speak to that briefly about how we're doing that with, I think, at a conference level, right?
Yeah, I'm happy to speak to that. We are currently now as a church developing protocols for what it will look like for us to reopen across the board. And right now we've had each ministry team leader and staff members submit what safe reopening would look like in each of the 3 phases that Rachel mentioned before. And now we're in the part of the show where we're making sure that we're consistent across each of the submitted plans, because obviously there's a lot of overlap between children's music and children's ministry and youth ministry. And so we just want to make sure that, of course, all 3 of those areas are consistent and that they are following the same criteria and we can keep the most people safe. Right now, in terms of specifics, you nailed it on the head, Lauren, that this is changing every single day, that it's hard to wrangle down real specifics. But we are looking at things like limiting the number of people in each classroom, limiting the number of students that would be able to be in the physical spaces at our church, consolidating classrooms into larger areas, perhaps, to cut down on the number of rooms that we're using, and the number of and encouraging parents to participate in children's ministry alongside their kids to limit the number of limit the amount of physical exposure that they'd have, when doing crafts and getting snacks ready and that sort of thing. Those are all some things that we're planning for children's ministry. For our kids' music ministry, for instance, we're looking at doing things that are I guess, it's hard with singing because of the amount of force that kids sing with and that sort of thing. So we're looking at doing those things outside when the weather gets a little bit nicer and at a socially distant, appropriate space. For our youth program, I think like the rest of the church, we're looking again at limiting numbers. We're looking at making sure that kids are socially distant and depending on and limiting things like food and beverage that is offered and the sort of food and beverage that's offered. At first, our plan is to offer nothing. And then as we begin to phase in, we do like prepackaged things that are not communal. Like a pizza, for instance, would not be something that we'd offer. As soon as that sort of comprehensive plan becomes available, we will, of course, be be happy to release that, and we'll release it to the entire congregation, and you can all sort of pick that apart.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And I was just, we're hot and heavy with listening to what's maybe going to happen with school when, and I have tremendous sympathy for attempting to put a plan together because it's just moving. So, but that sounds great. If you need someone to just tell people, calm down, it's going to be a work in progress forever, I will volunteer.
Yeah, it's a good thing that
I'm sure you get sick of saying that.
It's a good thing we've all done this before, and we're all masters at it. I think that the honest to God truth is that, at least some of this is going to be contingent on what we see schools doing, and because they're going to be the first ones that begin to develop some of the best practices and what we find to be acceptable as a society. And so I think that that's going to be some of the guidance we use as well. It's hard to make plans when no one else around you when there's no rule book. And so as schools and as preschools and as these different institutions begin developing some early best practices, we will be very adaptable in adopting some of those. But we want to reassure everyone that that the safety of our congregation and the children and youth within our church is our top priority. And we want to be together, but we want to make sure we're together in a safe way.
Will there be kind of a live stream or a continuous online option if people are still holed up at home?
Yeah, Rachel can speak to what the youth offering looks like, but our plan is we are right now installing streaming equipment into our worship space. And I think you know this, Laren, but for everyone else, we're installing streaming equipment into one of the worship spaces so that when we make the switch to having in-person worship for limited numbers, we will stream the worship service online so that everyone can watch it at their leisure, and the few people that are in person will experience the same thing. So we are in almost every area looking at being sensitive to the people that are maybe higher risk or choosing to stay at home, and not cutting them off just because we're getting back together in person. But Rachel can speak more to the youth aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to continue doing those virtual Sunday schools, even once we start meeting in person for at least a good portion of time. The only thing is the timing might have to change, being that if I'm in church in the morning, it might have to be in the afternoon. That would be the only caveat. But yeah, absolutely, we understand not everyone's going to be comfortable being on campus right away, and that's totally understandable. So we're going to definitely accommodate that as well.
Thanks, guys.
No problem. All right, well, if there aren't any other questions, Sam, would you close us in prayer? And then, and again, I'll make sure this information is accessible to you guys after this meeting. And there's also a recording, and so this will also be available to you guys and to other people if anyone for anyone who isn't here tonight.
Perfect. Yep, I will close this with prayer. So everyone, let's bow our heads. Let's go to God. Dear God, we just want to thank you for allowing us to be here today to hear about Rachel's reopening plans. Bless Rachel, bless this program. We realize it is not an easy time that we're living through, and planning can almost seem impossible, but we thank you for the leadership that Chris and Rachel have for planning our youth group for the next couple of months. Bless everybody here and keep us safe and healthy. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Appreciate your time.